Hey guys, welcome to this part 10 of the series where I'm building a BIP44 HD air gap crypto vault. We're gonna pick from right where we left it in the last stream. So let's jump right into it. I think I was somewhere, I remember trying to generate some random numbers the last time. These are exactly the same windows that were open a day before yesterday. So just trying to recall where I left it. Um, let's see. Okay, we were here. So we were trying to fetch random words. All right. So I think we were working on the screen where we are trying to confirm the mnemonic code from the user. And to once we have shown the mnemonic phrase to the user, we want to reconfirm it from the user. So let's go through that. Okay, let's run the server first. Okay, it's running now. Reloading. Generate, we got it. When we click on proceed, we get this screen, and this is exactly where we want to show stuff. So this request was fired, and the handler of this request is what we were working on. So this is the handler, fetch random words handler for this request. Let's see. In our logs, okay, these are the four random numbers that we generated from between 0 to 2048, which are essentially the words that are in the word list. Each word list, irrespective of the language it is in, has 2048 words. I'm gonna quickly check if the stream is up on both sides. Cool, cool. Okay, where does this during come from? Do I have it somewhere here? Nope. What is this? Running it again. Reloading. Generate. Got the mnemonic. Proceed. Hmm. It must be somewhere in the code only. That's why it's getting written on the standard output over there. Oh, I think we were trying to echo one of the words in the word list, and that's what it is. This maybe? Okay, so we have four random numbers which are essentially gonna use as index, as in the line number for the file, for the word list file that we're trying to access, and the language parameter is inside of this variable now. For now, we are simply using English, so we can actually replace this with the word here. And then we will try to scan the file, keep on scanning it line by line, I think. And then if line which we are keeping account of is matches with the first random number, then it prints the first number, and that's what we saw here. So during is the number that we got at the 545 line. So if I open this here and go to 545, okay, 546, that's what we're seeing here. Because 545 is the index, so that is why the line number will be one more than that, so 546 that way. And I realized the last time the problem with this loop was that since I have to pick out four different numbers, I don't want to, I mean, I can very well put in multiple if else cases here that will work, but is that the way to go about it? because eventually I wanna pull out 4 words out of this file. So maybe if we, instead of trying to scan it and then trying to match the index, what if we read the entire file? I know that I earlier mentioned that I don't want to read the entire file into the memory, but since it's just 2048 words, it's not gonna put that much strain on the memory as such, maybe like few kilobytes. That's it. And that simplifies the code here a lot. So let's do that. And if we get to the point where we're trying to optimize for the memory, then we'll worry about that. For anyone who is not familiar with the context, this device is gonna be running on a crypto, like on a single board computer. In this case, I'm using a Raspberry Pi Zero, which only has like 500 megabytes of RAM. So it's very important that the memory is being treated as a scarce resource, because it will run the operating system totally into the memory and no bootable media attached to it. And then this program, and since the UI is going to be exposed as a browser window, the packaging of that UI will obviously cost a whole lot more than OX, the OS, the operating system, and the program combined. So we're just trying to be very careful about that. Anyway, let's see if we can get a snippet for just reading the entire file into an array. Is that go? Okay, is that go? So essentially, open up the files, keep scanning it, same loop that we have, create an array over here, and simply keep on appending it. Okay, that takes care of the line counter. We don't need it. Okay, let's do that. Actually, we should create it like this. Array of strings, and no conditions here. Simply have to append this, and the append function take arguments as the array as the first argument, and the actual element that needs to be added to this in the second argument. And evaluated but not used. Does it return? I think it returns. Why can't I click on it? Oh yeah, they are receiving the value right here, so this function returns, and that should take care of the warning. It's really a problem that I have to keep switching windows to monitor chat. Just gonna quick say hello to whoever is watching. All right, now we got the array in the words index, and we can simply do this: log.println and words random1, duplicate this 4 times. This should work right out the bat. And I still have to explore why the Go language decides to give me the same numbers every single time. There's something to learn over there, so wanna use that to figure out how does that work. All right. So 4 random indexes for the words, and the 4 different words we got, and the 5th one we already know over here. What's the 5th one? So we do know it, right? At this point, it should be sitting in app.mnemonic. No? Okay. At this point, generating mnemonic we generated the mnemonic into this component rather. So how do I mean, I can access this mnemonic. It's undefined. Let's quickly reload once. We have the mnemonic. Proceed. We still have the mnemonic, and the first word is access. We got, oh, okay, we are not returning the JSON yet, so we got these four words, and what we can do is append the actual word with these four words, shuffle them and show them on the screen, and let the user choose what was the first word. That's what we are trying to do here. Okay, let's check. Let's write it to the log first. Where should we be checking for logs in this case? Because the iteration is gonna call, like the loop is gonna call this function with every iteration. So is this proper handling for it? They're just doing it scanner.err, which is what we did here. Instead of doing a fatal error here, what we want to do is, do we have the variable for the API response yet? Not yet. Let's, we would need to create a new account API response type. So we have a generic one, we have a mnemonic API response one. Let's duplicate this and let's call it mnemonic confirm API response, which will be either a success or error, and then a bunch of words. And do I want to bother sending them in an array, or oh well, let's call it words. Let's send those in an array and see how does that work out for us. So over here, the response, sorry, what? Okay, the highlighting didn't work, or highlighting doesn't work at this point. So if we are here, then obviously log it, then response dot error is equal to this error, and response dot success is equal to false. And what else? Third argument was words. So in this case we won't have any words, and we can simply return here at this point. Right, JSON response w, and pretty sure I was using it like this only. Oh, we are explicitly calling the error function, which calls in the inbuilt string function to return a string type for it. Okay, back to what we were doing here. Okay, and okay, why are my fans spinning so loud? Oh, we have a full CPU. Why is that? Which tab is this? There was some rogue tab that wanted to eat the entire CPU. Oh, it restarted again, it seems. Can't seem to trigger the on-screen display of temperatures and everything. Just gonna quickly check what that tab was, which tab crashed, so I can at least know what was going on. Oh, it was the Twitch tab that crashed. What? How can this tab eat up my entire CPU, which is 8 core, 16 threads? That's a lot. Okay, well, let's continue, and if my fans start spinning again, we'll see what's going on in there. Okay, where we were at this point. Okay, let's see. If there is no error over here, then instead of doing this, I'll have to do it like this. Response dot success will be true, and response dot words will be words. Well, I can simply use, instead of creating a new array here, I can simply put those words here directly. So we already have it here. And then Golang format specifier for array. Is it Q? I don't know. Let's try writing it out and see what happens. Response.words, that should be it. Restarting server. Once that's done, let's send this request again. And what do we get? In the network tab, we got this. Words are, oh, holy shit. I think we returned the entire word list here. Okay. All right, I know why. Because we definitely needs reading these words over here, not directly, because we need to choose them, right? We forgot about choosing. So words is equal to append words, and then if there is an error with reading the file, then obviously success is false. Return the error and on your way with it. Can use to trigger it, like in the write out the JSON over here early on, and if that doesn't happen, then we know the success is true. And then now we have to choose words based on, oh no, I made changes in the wrong place. What, how did this happen? Okay, looks like we're back. I don't know what happened here. Okay. Okay, what's okay, at this point, write JSON response and write a W and bail out of the function. And if we are at this point, then obviously response.success is true. We simply have to choose the words here, which is put in the right words at response.words. So instead of doing it like this, let's do for I is equal to 0, I less than I less than 4. That's 5 words that we're returning. I plus plus, and iterating over that, we have to iterate over words I, and I don't want to iterate over words I. Okay, this is for choosing 4 words and not for iterating the array. So at inside of this loop, uh, instead of doing it here, we will generate the random number here. So we get an random number here like this, random number, and then I want to choose this random number. Can this, it always return an integer, so I can use it directly inside of this array. So this words, it gets chosen for depending to the response.words. At this point, I can use the append function like this. So it will generate 5 random numbers, put those in here, and write the request out and respond.words here. And I didn't close this file. I think I will need to. Yep, differ. This is before buffer scan, so this is right after when we open the file. So we open the file here, or we already have the differ close, so we're good. We got the words, da da da, should work. Let's try. Building this, and on the front end side, let's replay this request. And now we only got 4 words. Replay this request and see we got different words. We got different words this time. Cool. Replay. Okay. As you can see, we got different words here, and earlier when we were generating random numbers like this, we were getting the same numbers every single time. So I do want to look into that real quick and figure out what was the cause behind that. Or maybe I have one of those windows open here the last time I did it. Can close this, same number value. Okay. Well, it says you have to initialize the global source used by rand_int and other functions of the rand package using rand.seed. So we have to provide an entropy source. For example, rand.seed time now.unix nano. See possible duplicate of difficulty with go run package coding from the package. Top level functions such as float64 and end use a default shared source that produces a deterministic sequence of values each time a program is run. Use the seed function to initialize the default source. Okay, makes sense. I mean, by default, how it generates random number for int and float64 is using the default shared source. So every time the same program runs, it will give us the same value. And I think if the program is a little different, as in the code has changed, it should give you a different value, but each subsequent run will give you the same value. So for our purposes, uh, I mean, that makes sense. They're asking us to provide a source, global entropy source, so that they can use that to generate random number. But when we did it inside of this, which is here, it kind of worked out on its own. I wonder why that is. Was it able to use a source, a different source like that? I'm not sure. Okay, I mean, as long as it works, that's fine. That's all we need. But if it doesn't work, then we gotta provide a source to it. But from the looks of it, in our scenario, it's able to generate random number every single time. So that's good. Okay, so now that we have 4 words, let's come back to the Vue.js side of things. We were inside of which function? This is the wallet file and not the vault. This is the vault file, but get similar words. We got the words here, response.data.words. Okay, need this wordless language confirming, which was flipped in here, and it was called where? I think on the click of the, but we are only calling this function in the HTML, right? So confirming mnemonic is triggered on the click of proceed button, and over here we flip the confirming switch, which does what for us? It shows us this screen right here, and for each step we need to keep a tab of which step are we on, which mnemonic word are we trying to confirm, and uh, show the words that we got, put in the right word in there as well, shuffle it and show it. So let's create a bunch of variables. I think mnemonic index is what I created earlier. This or is already used. Oh no, this is what we created earlier. So I set it as 0 here. So at this point, mnemonic index is 0, and I'm gonna call it mnemonic options, I think, or mnemonic index options, which will be an array. So at this point, we get the words in this here, and now we can render the UI, which is supposed to show, I mean, I also have to check before, I mean, like four words to choose, one word out of is fine, but we have to make sure that the word that is actually the right choice for this index isn't already in there. And if it's in there, then we use it as it is, and if it's not, then we simply replace the very first one and then just show it. Oh no, not always the first one. I think a randomized one would be better. Okay, let's see. Let's see if the actual mnemonic word is in there. So first, let's receive the value in this, save this, reload this, generate, proceed, da da da. And in the view side of things, we have the index options here, 0 and first row. Wouldn't it be better if the mnemonic is in array as well? Or, I mean, I think it's tied up to this text area here, that's why it's a string. I guess we'll just convert it into an array while trying to do our operation. So this dot mnemonic JavaScript split with spaces. I think there's one. The original split only works for the very first occurrence, I think. Does this work? Dot split function. Um, so I want to see how I can access the variables in the console here with this. Or do I get a console of my own somehow? Does it say generate anywhere? Generate mnemonic? Nope. Components. Um, access Vue.js component variable in window console. Okay, so $vm dot. Okay, so select the component here, and then $vm will point to it, I think. Yes, it's pointing to the VM component, and if we do data, we get data. I didn't mean to do it. I think it swapped my actual what I typed in. And if I do it like this, I'm not gonna be able to get any value. But if I do it like this, I get the value. Okay. And what was the other option? Use $data. Does this work as well? Mnemonic. Yeah, this works. So using the split function on this. Oh well, it works for our use case, so let's just roll with it. Mnemonic.split using space, then we get an array, and gonna keep the array mnemonic array is equal to this, and I think we don't need to worry about the array even. We can simply access the index here, this dot mnemonic index, and we get the mnemonic, the actual word for that in here, which we can quickly test by logging it here. Let's do this. Generate, proceed, got subject. Subject is it is cool. So now I want to check if subject exists inside of this. So JavaScript in array. I believe JavaScript has an in array function. Okay, so it has includes. Okay, so this mnemonics index option includes, and then the word itself, right? Right. Which in our case is, let's call it mnemonic word actually. Where mnemonic word, where mnemonic word, and where mnemonic word. If essentially this must be returning a boolean. So if this is included, then we don't have to do anything. But if isn't included, then we have to replace one of the values in the index options with the mnemonic word. So JavaScript random number. Math.random. How do I specify that? Oh, wait a second. I think it always generate a pseudo random number in the range 0 to less than 1, inclusive of 0 but not 1 with approximately uniform distribution. So that is why we have to what? So if we have a minimum or a maximum boundary, we do the ceiling of minimum, floor of max, then multiply the math random number with max minus min, then floor it, and then add minimum to it. If we specify 2 and 5 here, this will be 2 and this will be 5, this will be 3, 3 multiplied by something would be something. Then I want a round off number. What is this? Stupid shit. JavaScript random element from array. Multiplied by items dot length. Right. Oh yeah, this will work. So what are we trying to do? Replace one, right? So this dot mnemonic index options is the array we are trying to replace, and we need to access a random key here. So that will be math.floor and math.random or random multiplied by the maximum or the item length. So length of this. So now we're accessing a random index here, and we simply override that by a mnemonic word. Okay, let's see how it works out. We have the mnemonic word here, and let's have a message here replacing. Don't think we will get to see this. Statistically, it will happen very less, but anyway. And at this point, we can console.log this dot mnemonic index option, and let's log it here anyway, so that we can see the difference. Now we have it here. Let's close all of these things down and reload this. Generate one again, click proceed. Okay, we have stadium pictures hide and tackle, and the they was the mnemonic, apparently the first word of the mnemonic. So it replaced one and it replaced the third one. So stadium picture, they tackle. Let's do that one more time. So Foster was the word, and this time the first one was replaced. Okay, yeah, that's good. Now we simply have to iterate over this and display this over there. For which we go to the index.html file. Okay, we will need a message here. Please, let's notify that we are trying to confirm the mnemonic code here. Confirm mnemonic. And then over here, we do what? We need 4 buttons, 4 choices, and it will be, so we have to iterate over. Let's get a UN going in here. Oh wow, why didn't this close automatically? We have a UL over here, then inside of Lee this will be v4, and over here we'll call it mnemonic index options. Mnemonic index options, it's defined in there, right? Yes, it is. For mnemonic index options, I think we do something like option in mnemonic index options. How we do it? Let's check. Yeah, item in items, and then inside of this we simply display the option to begin with. Property or method option is not defined on the instance but referenced during render. What? So what's happening here? Mm, this should work right off the bat, because inside of this uh, it is the generate component that we're talking about, right? Back. Okay, so this should not be happening because we already have it defined here. And why would it have a problem with it? We have okay. So it only complained about it uh, on page load, because when we get to this thing, we didn't have anything inside of it. So it should not throw an error at least. It can render an empty list as is. So why did it do that? It's defined here as well. Next options, mnemonic index options. That doesn't make sense. I mean, it's working even if the error is there, right? I can sell instead of nothing. So nothing was it that was replaced over path, and we simply saw this, so it was fast enough. We don't have to worry about it. Uh, So it tries to does that on the page load, and why does empty array bother it? I don't know. I don't get it. I think the function name should also be changed to get random words rather than similar words, because we're not doing similar words. Earlier you were trying to pass on the mnemonic and then give us the result, but now we're handling that on the client side here. So get random words, and this was fired from here, so we paste it here, but it's still complaining. Property or method option is not defined on the instance but referenced during render. Option mnemonic index. So I think will it go away if I do it like this? It doesn't. Why? I mean, the option is clearly defined now. Not sure. Anyway, let's mnemonic index here. We want to increment this by 1. So it automatically says first word. Font bold, MP5. Text can be simply large. Okay, as we keep on confirming, this will keep on moving forward. It's now throwing 2 errors. It's almost like it doesn't know these words exist. Property method is not defined on the instance but referenced during render. Make sure this property is reactive either in the data option or for the class-based components by initializing the property. Let's check this out. Declare message with an empty value and set message later. Right. Since view doesn't allow dynamically adding root level reactive properties, you have to initialize view instances by declaring all root level reactive properties up front, even with an empty value. Then if you don't declare message in the data option, we will warn you that the render function is trying to access a property that doesn't exist. There are technical restrictions. It eliminates a class of edge cases in the dependency tracking system and also make view instances play nicer with type checking systems. But there is also an important consideration of codability. The data object is like the schema for your component state. Declaring all reactive properties upfront make the component code easy to understand when revisited later or read by another developer. Okay, but okay, so it buffers the changes and then on the next tick it renders it. That's good. Don't need that kind of a thing in our use case. I mean, what happened to our error? I'm trying to read on that. So, okay, let's see what's going on here. We have the template defined here for generate template component. Over here, it knows this is okay. Now, the generate template is defined over here. Component is generate, template is this. That's why it uses this. So these are methods. Then again, this is the model that I'm using here. And similarly, this doesn't show up there, which is very weird, almost as if the JS file did not get it. It's here though. Not sure what's going on here. But since like our code is functional, I'm gonna ignore it for now and come back to it later on. And I'll get tired of seeing these errors popping in here. Okay, we have it here. We want the user to click one of these options, right? So how do we get that? Essentially what we want to do is, unless the user clicks on the right word, so at this point the mnemonic index options, we need the mnemonic word again, right? So it might make sense to have a word here rather than trying to do this again. Mnemonic word, this will be an empty string. All right. Then at this point, when I do get the mnemonic word, I wanna put this directly into this dot mnemonic word and remove all these console log calls that we don't need now. And this will become this dot mnemonic word, this dot mnemonic word. So that's good. Now we wanna, upon click, for which we need a new function, check mnemonic word function. Sure, we'll need the event here. Console.log event, and ये क्या था? We'll have give it block, give it a certain width, and okay, let's style them here only. Way 500 with 8 is sufficient, not enough, so we'll give it 16. Still need more. Give it 32. That's fine. With 32 rounded. BG gray. Little bit of padding. PX2. PY5. Then I need them to be inline block. So do I simply do this? How does Tailwind do it? Okay, yeah, that does it, and will give us a little margin on the right side. Margin right 10. And then we want the text to be center. Tailwind UI. I want tailwind.com. Oh no, that's not it. Tailwind CSS. Oh, tailwindcss.com. Text center. Text alignment. Okay, text dash center. Click, click. We get okay. That looks a little better, and we can click on it now. How do I change the mouse pointer? Cursor hand, which is which one? Cursor pointer. Cursor pointer. Okay, now that's done. We'll do what to that. Reload it again. Okay, the entire box is clickable. That's what we wanted. Now it sure looks ugly, but that's on purpose. Can make it even more ugly. Yeah. I think whatever. Let's go with blue. I think this looks all right for now. So now that we have it, we wanna trigger a function over it. Upon click, validate mnemonic choice. And over here, valid mnemonic choice. This is the function. Click on it. Let's see if this is getting triggered. Generate carefully. Da da da. Mouse in, mouse event. All right. What does it look like? Target. What is it that I'm trying to get out of it? I'm trying to get out this inner HTML here, but Should I be accessing it directly in Vue.js? I mean, I can, but is that uh, how it's meant to be used? Vue.js get which button was clicked. I think because since I'm binding the same function over everyone, I can always send data in it, right? So this actually becomes click, and I can simply pass on the option that's there, and let's reload and see what happens. Should be getting the word directly. Yeah, Varilla aware employee approves. Sweet. Now that I'm getting the word, which is choice, what I want to do is check choice against if choice is equal to mnemonic word, this one, and if it is, let me turn on the air conditioner. Okay, we check for the choice here, and then what? Oh, I think I forgot to tweet that I'm live today. Let's quickly do that. How did I forget this today? Okay, let's simply go back to the last tweet I did. This was part 8, this was part 9. Add another tweet going, being live. uh, Forgot to tweet for part 10 of me live coding and air gapped BIP44 HD Crypto Vault. Paste this here. We'll obviously have to change the YouTube URL. Okay, that's live. Uh, mm, Instead of the stream link, it's actually showing the landing page this time, but whatever. Okay, let's continue. So if the choice is matches with the mnemonic word, we have to proceed ahead, which would mean what? Which would update the mnemonic index. It will increment it and will clear the mnemonic index options, because those will have to be fetched again. So I think I can simply call this function. It will do it for me because it simply overwrites the mnemonic index options here out of the data words, then use the mnemonic index and since the index is updated, this mnemonic word will get updated on its own, and then yeah, then it should and if there's an error, let's just show an alert. Wrong choice. Reload, generate, proceed. Okay, open this here. Okay, the first one is cube, so let's try clicking on the something that's not there. Okay, mnemonic word is not defined. That's my bad. This dot mnemonic word, reload, generate, proceed. Its title, let's click on rubber. Wrong choice. Project, wrong choice. Next, wrong choice. Title. So that took it, and now it's moved on to the second word, and then another request was fired, and now the word is talent, which we have here, and my options are once, often, pill, talent. So wrong choice, talent, angry, reward, shy. Angry, reward, shy. So that will keep on moving further, which is good. I mean, I can obviously add an simple sort of animation in here later on while working on the UI. That will make it look good. But uh, apart from that, how do we happen when we have verified the very last word, right? So how do we do that? So that will happen. That will be handled at this valid mnemonic choice. If we know this is the last word, then we can simply call on the next function here, right? It will actually come in here. So since here we are dealing with 24 words, the value we're going to be looking at is mnemonic index being 23. So inside of this, if this dot mnemonic index is greater than 23, 23 for the 23rd, for the value 23rd, it should run one more time, right? So that will work. I don't know. Well, hold on a second. If this is the last word that I'm validating right now, the value of mnemonic index will be 23. And if the choice is correct, right? So it will actually be this. If this isn't true, then do this. Oops, move this upwards and gonna change it to less than 23 and move this forwards because that's what we'll be doing most of the times. All mnemonic validation complete. Then what we do? We have to, let's go back here. We generated the, I'm gonna zoom this a little bit. So once we have the mnemonic phrase generated automatically, we ask the user to write the mnemonic phrase, we make them confirm the mnemonic phrase, and then I think we're doing choose passphrase already. So are we not choosing the generate? Oh, we're not doing passphrase here. Okay, so proceed, choose the words, proceed ahead, and so we'll have to show this passphrase screen now. So for that, this confirming needs to be flipped. This dot confirming is, I think instead of flipping I should rely on hard-coded values. because don't really need a toggle option, and this kind of works around the edge cases as well. If whatever, for whatever reason, this was being triggered second twice, let's say in the case of event handlers, using such statements forces a consistent value over the state you want, and not just keep on flipping it depending on how many times you clicked on it, even a lot of times. So this confirming gets false, and you can quickly see what happens if confirming becomes false here. Okay, so this goes back to this screen, which is not what we want. So over here we have if confirming is if confirming is false, then show this. If it's confirming is true, true. And then I guess we need a confirmed variable here, confirmed, which will obviously be false to begin with, and we can add it like this. Confirmed is equal to false. Confirmed is equal to false, and then don't really care about confirming here, and we simply worry about confirmed being true here. If this is confirmed, yay. Right, so let's do a reload, and something happened to our server. Oops. Oh, I think the internet flaked out for a second. Stream is still up though, right? Yes. Let's do that again. We're doing this, we're doing that. When confirming is false, then we get out of that state, but the confirmed immediately becomes true. Then we see this, and yay. So over here, this confirming is false. This dot confirm is equal to true. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So this gets true, and we get to the screen, which I should go through once. Let's quickly do that and get it over with. Kinda need to see the entire value here, so I'll just paste it in the address bar so that I can see. Generate, proceed. Okay. Copy, paste. So res, goose, combine, merge, cabin, vanish, first, onion, approve, electric, stomach, hen, dice, right, mutual, gold weapon spray road, gold weapon spray road, ostrich and wheel, betray wheat inch, betray wheat inch. Okay, that works. Sweet. So now we get at this stage where we have to show them the option of passphrase. After that, the wallet gets unlocked. Sorry, not unloaded. So we want to show them an input type text, which will be linked to what variable? Passphrase. Let's just copy over the styles for the input field. Did we not have any here? This should work out just fine. So I think in order to get to this screen every time I reload, what I can do is give the confirmed value as true. Made it true for dev online reload. So we get to this passphrase screen, and that doesn't look right. It's an input text field, but it looks like a text area, which is because of this height here. Should be all right now. Okay. So we choose a passphrase: wheat, barley, German, fly, UFO. Okay. So what happens if when I type that in? When I type that in, we have all the values that we need, the mnemonic, the passphrase, the two things that we need to unlock the wallet, right? And we simply want a button here which says unlock me. So let's copy this button here, and this will be unlock wallet. Da da da. Reload. Okay. Click click click. What? I was getting 2 errors. Now I'm getting 3 errors. Unlock wallet. Let's see. It's not in there obviously, but is it over here? It is. So let's move this over. Wait a second. Why did I just copy it over the I copied over the generate mnemonic, so don't need that here. Import will be inside of that only, this as well. So I think I copied over some of them and not all of them, but they simply don't need to reside in the root instance of the view. So I'm just gonna get those things out of there. Unlock wallet cut, all of these methods deleted. Then over here is the unlock wallet function. We already have the handler defined. It passes it back on to the backend, and then upon a success event, it clears it out from the memory because we don't need to hold these values in the on the client side. The state of the unlocked wallet will be maintained on the backend side. Let's see. Oh, oh man. I think this time I'll need the mnemonic generated as well. And then the passphrase. Okay, I was paying attention to this errors that are okay. Those are gone. These two I'll deal with later on. Let's see. Hmm. If we have it here, and if we have something over here, this will get sent, but it should throw an error. Oh wow. Somehow, okay, so I didn't save it here, so that's why it's in an empty mnemonic, and I think it kind of generated the seed based on the passphrase itself. So it did create something, but that's not what I meant to happen. So I'll just copy over these mnemonics here, paste them here. I think I'll need double quotes. Right. Passphrase. Click on this. And this time the mnemonic was passed correctly along with the passphrase I chose. As you can see here, mnemonic is here and passphrase is here. And the seed was generated, the master node was derived, and the master private key is this one. So we do have the wallet unlocked. That's good. So we are done till this point based on the boot generate mechanism being automatic, mnemonic phrase, ask user to write it down, confirm mnemonic, choose passphrase, wallet ready. Do plan to add this dice roll, but don't think I'll be doing this right off the bat. I'll definitely come back to it. For now, it's going to be automatic only, because that's what the that's what the minimum requirement is to have this MVP ready. And once that's ready, once the 0.1 version is ready, then I'll start iterating over it and adding all these things that I want in there. Okay, let's see, where were we? Okay, so let's say I want to be able to generate a mnemonic on my own, but nah, let's not worry about that. Let's simply worry about what happens when I type it this here, and the wallet is unlocked at this point. So what happens after this point? After this point, it goes to the dashboard. Even the convenience side of things is not going to be in the MVP. That's simply about generating the encrypted QR code. I mean, I might include it in QR in the MVP, because essentially this is what you're going to use to quickly boot up the vault. Import the QR code by scanning it, mnemonic phrase, you provide passphrase, and the wallet is ready. If we don't have this mechanism ready, then you boot up the vault, you choose import, you import by QR code, and you manually type in those 24 words. And then we acquire the mnemonic phrase, you provide the passphrase, and then the wallet is unlocked. Okay, so I think at this point we go to the dashboard. Don't recall if I worked on the dashboard at all, because I remember building this of some sort. Oh, so I did work on it. Hang on, I do have the link here, right? Okay, the DNS is acting up funny. Okay, it worked. So go to the dashboard and it's not working. What happened to you? Okay, so we are using routes now, and earlier the dashboard was defined like this. So what we need to do is create a dashboard component, right? So what we do is duplicate this, we call it dashboard, give the component the name dashboard, and then let's copy this entire thing and then make changes. Dashboard here, add this dashboard to the routes already added. Dashboard, what values do we need? Don't know yet. this will be the HTML for it. So let's get it out and header template, footer template, init template. What is init template? Okay, init template. Then this entire thing was generate, so we duplicate that again. This becomes dashboard template, and inside of it I put in the HTML for the dashboard. Don't really need this div, I think. Let's come back here, fix the template name. Let's quickly scan for the variables. We need the sign transaction method here. Let's clear all of these out. Go to the sign transaction, which is empty. Add Bitcoin account, show Bitcoin account. Sign transaction, add Bitcoin account, and where is the show? Show. Okay. Copy over these three functions. Now the root instance is empty. The root instance has no methods in it. The rightful place for those functions are here. Okay, what else? Let's get clear all of this. Mm, what now? My expectation was this would load now, but it doesn't. And from the looks of it, it's not even going to the right component based on this route. And was this error? Account index is not defined. Right. Okay, let's define these then. Bitcoin accounts gonna be an empty array. What else do we have here? Account index. Don't have the account index in here. So how was that error being thrown? Oh, so it should be in the template somewhere. Let's collapse this. This is dashboard, import, commented out, header, footer, init. Okay, so now we have this. Okay, this is the same error that's these two are. I mean, the reason of this error is the same as these errors. They should not be happening. So, gonna postpone looking into that as well because it will just work. So let's figure out what's causing it to not work at this point. Let's go back to the roots where we defined it. And where is it? So all we have here are components being defined, and then the routes here. Path dashboard, component dashboard. So why won't that work? Okay, so that's global, right? So routes. We do have this dashboard here, and the component tied up to it. I wonder why that's not working. So right now it's sitting at the init because of this path, and it's not validating. It does go to the what? Why is generate added after this? It should be this. I think that's why it's not working. Okay, that's stupid. Now, when I go here, it adds this because it wants to work with the URLs on the fly. I click on this, I go to generate, that's good. I click on dashboard. Okay. Okay, I think I know what's happening here. This works for generate, and if I type in dashboard here, dashboard will work too. And something is broken here, obviously, but we'll come to it in a second. But first, let's fix link in the header so that they are not actually anchor text. I know I said earlier that I'll keep them, but I'll simply reload through the keyboard when I really want to reload the app on a certain URL and not rely on the header links. Okay, header links are here. Header templates. And how do I show it? We just oh, come on, just give me an example. Okay, like this. Router link to, and anchor text comes. Okay, so this becomes router link to this home, closing router link like this. Let's duplicate this. Call it dashboard. Put the URL. Let's see what happens now. Go to the home page. This is in it. This is the dashboard. Home, dashboard, home. Generate, passphrase, unlock. Bunch of errors. Should it not have unlocked it? Let's copy a mnemonic. Mnemonic saved, passphrase entered, unlock wallet, and it still didn't take me there. So something is up, and I think it's, I don't know. Let's try rendering the dashboard view directly first, and then we'll see. Okay, account index. How long it has been? Okay, close to 2 hours. Hmm. Okay, where's the template? Dashboard. Right here. It says there's a method attached to it. nothing else here. Then looping over Bitcoin accounts, account index like this, and another method over here. Okay, this is the account index that is being thrown about, which is exactly the same like this, right? And then it says mnemonic index is not defined, which is where? What? This is in the generate template. So why is it getting triggered right now? And then the xpub and whatnot. Did I define all of these for the dashboard here? Okay, I did not. Xpub, then QR. Xpub, QR, Bitcoin accounts, these three things. I'll just copy it from here so that we have the comments for these here as well. So these three, then these three things are going from here as well, and the root instance is okay. Do need this mounted function because we want what that looks like a wrong syntax. Maybe not. Okay, all of these are data values, and this is a function being called right here. I think that's translated into some black magic in JavaScript context, which is why I don't like it. But whatever. So this is now empty. Mounted is also empty. Computed methods is also empty. So we can simply reduce it down to this. This is our root instance. Root Vue.js instance. This is our router that we plug it in here. And the dashboard is defined. It should work now. Okay, all the others that are gone. This is working correctly, and these three things I have to deal with later on. Okay, we're back in business. Okay, home, dashboard, home. Let's see if we can go through the generation process, and not entirely, but from this passphrase screen we can come back to the dashboard on its own. But I don't think I added that navigation here. So how do I make the user move to a different page programmatically is what I want to know. I can use the HTML5 history abstraction directly, but does Vue offer its own abstraction? Let's Google instead of trying to read through the documentation. Vue.js redirect to URL. I think that's a simplified way of putting it. This is what we're using. Are we? No. That was router dash link. Yeah, router dash link. View router, yes. This is what I want. If you're using View router, you want to do navigate to the blog, da da da. Let's try this. If I am on this page, how is this supposed to work? App.router.push dashboard. Okay, well that settles it. At this point, we simply do. Okay, this point we wanna call this app. So what do I say it here? Window.app .router.push dashboard. Let's see. Home, reload, generate. Let's copy over mnemonic, or do I already have it here? I don't. Let's copy this one and then uh, put it in here, put in the passphrase. Okay, click on unlock, and this has been unlocked using the passphrase and the mnemonic. And the account index didn't work, unfortunately, in this case. And I wonder why is that? When does this get executed? When the component is rendered or even before that? Console.log dashboard mounted. Just curious. Okay, let's reload here. Dashboard mounted. So it's already mounted at this point. This .bitcoin accounts have this. Okay, no problem from my side on that thing. But why doesn't it work when I am coming from the generate screen? I'll go back to the home page, reload, 3 errors, click on generate, 3 more errors. The same errors again. I wonder why. Put in the mnemonic, fill in the passphrase, click on unlock, more errors. We do get to the dashboard screen, but I think these are the same errors again, so can ignore them for now. Oh, the dashboard mounted is fired again. Why did it fire again? Why? Did it reload? I should have been paying attention. Generate, mnemonic, enter, passphrase, something, something. It didn't reload. It says dashboard mounted, and I obviously spelled it wrong. So if I'm on home and I reload, this time it's not saying dashboard mounted. What the hell? So the component is mounted is only executed when it renders. Right? If I click on dashboard directly, then it says dashboard mounted. Right? But if I'm on home, I go on generate, and then inside, fill in the mnemonic for the millionth time. Provide a passphrase, unlock the wallet. I get to this screen. The dashboard is mounted. But why the variables are broken? So Bitcoin accounts has value in here, right? I mean, I'm sure this will work. But where is the account index? We're coming from here. Over it says loop on Bitcoin accounts, account index, show Bitcoin account index. So we're calling the right function. Does that work? That actually works perfectly fine. Almost this part of the string is entirely same for all the accounts. Is that supposed to happen? I don't know. But okay, whatever for now. just a matter of the account index uh, not showing up in here, which is only inside of this. I mean, it does keep the track of all the elements. A new element gets added, it's reflected over here. It's just that it's not able to read this variable value. I think I will have to look into these errors now, because these things are now related, if I'm right. Hmm. Let's close all the other tabs first. No, that's not what I want. So that didn't get copied. Great. Vue.js throws error even though they are defined. Your component does not have access to methods defined on your view. You need to add the method to the main table component. Problem. The error is occurring because the change setting this is being referenced in the component. However, the change setting method is not defined in the main table component. It is being defined in the root component here. But now I have nothing in the root component, and everything is in their respective component. So something weird is up on that front. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. These things are here. What needs to be remembered is that the properties and the methods can be referenced in the scope where they are defined. Everything in the beta template is compiled in parent scope. Everything in the child component. Mm, mm, mm. Could it be related to the fact that method of the method that I'm using to specify the template is specifying it as like this and having the template be in the HTML like this? Could it be that? I am not sure. Let's try searching with different keywords and maybe we'll get lucky. Vue.js template this and the same error message. I have a fairly simple setup which is failing with these errors. Same error. Not sure whether it's because the X template referencing method is buggy. I don't see it being used much. And what did this guy do? Let's see. In the HTML, I created this template fruit.name here, iterating this, and the error is on fruit, right? So hmm, move the X template out of the div that the main view instance controls. Oh, I think I have it all inside. That's why. Script, 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 script. Alrighty, moving these three things out of the way. Got them here. And header, footer, init. Pasting them here. Dashboard template here. Generate template here. And these errors should be gone now. Reload. Voila. Hey, thanks, guy. Okay. Generate. Doing it one more time. Putting in the mnemonic like this. Specifying the passphrase here. Unlocking wallet. The wallet gets unlocked. Yep. And then the indexes are working here as well. I click on this, I see it. I can add more account and I can see all of them as well. That's pretty cool. So let's fix the margin here a little. MB10, not it. Just 5 is enough. Columns 100 is fine. Cool. So now that works. What else? I think in this scope, the generate, the import is still remaining. The generate bit is done. The automatic generate happens, the mnemonic is generated. We ask the user to confirm. We let the user choose a passphrase. The wallet is ready. That the dashboard opens up, shows the accounts. Currently, it only has one of them, so that's why you see Bitcoin and 3 accounts, and that's it. But that's what the manage account screen looks like for now, because you can only the support for the first currency that is Bitcoin is what's it's gonna be about in the very first version, the version 0.1, the MVP. And then later on I'll add more cryptocurrencies, but for now that's all that manage accounts will offer. Then the dashboard does have the sign transaction screen, which is here, and that's being blocked by me still having to learn the transaction signing process. How does that work? And apart from that, what else is remaining? Apart from that, I think this convenience bit is remaining, this chain over here, this chain, and we can work on the import now. But for import, we can only work on providing the QR manually for now. Then this, then this, then this. And this is honestly nothing, just a bunch, one screen, show a bunch of fields over there, and this unlocks it. It's just that. And when actually importing manually, we don't even need this screen over here, because the user provides it, then the immediately screen is a passphrase, so why not ask them both the things in one go, and then get out of there. Okay, this was a generate. This is the import. So now I guess we work on the import screen. Let's quickly commit the changes we have. That's not usually how I commit things. I'm lying. Sometimes I do. But once the first MVP is ready, I'll squash all the commits and put the initial commit on GitHub, and from that point onwards, all the commits will be atomic, proper, you can say. Import seed phrase. Okay, this is the screen that we'll be working with, but doesn't show anything here. That's because we didn't define the import component yet, did we? I don't think we did. This is header, this is footer, this is init, this is generate, this is dashboard. There is no import component to be found. So let's add that here. Copy over the dashboard one since that's small. Import here, and then don't know what we're gonna need. We're gonna need a mnemonic here, and we're gonna need the passphrase here. Then this will be import template. That's what I have it here, right? And then don't think I need import mnemonic. I'll simply need an unlock wallet function here, which will be called, you guessed it right, unlock wallet. And the passphrase field can simply be copied over from here, and then we'll also copy over the mnemonic text area, which is here. Let's quickly check. Only show when mnemonic, so don't need all these conditions, need to show them at all times. Cannot be read only, as we are expecting the user to type it in. So that becomes text area, that becomes passphrase, and the unlock screen. Does it work? The DNS is acting finicky again. Come on. Okay. Whoa. What happened here? Error compiling template. Okay. I'll look at you in a second. Let's fix this. Nothing, don't even need mounted in this one. Then methods are only gonna be unlock wallet, which we will copy over from dashboard. No, generate. So unlock wallet goes there, reloading. Okay, I think we are ready to debug this error now. Let's see. Error compiling template should contain exactly one root element. Ah, that's easy. Give it a div, wrap it up in the div, make it behave, and voila. Can use a label here as well. Mnemonic.